everybody, and brightest blessings to all of you. Lady Leeanna here with yet another edition of Wicca for today, and it is truly great to be back here and welcoming you to yet another show. It is great to have you back tuning into the channel once more. Today I wanted to talk to you about the differences between practicing solitarily and practicing within a group or covenant. And I'm not only talking to the witches and Wiccans in the room, I'm also talking to the Buddhists, the shamans, the druids, and the Christians, and many more. I have many different people that tune into the show today. You know, a great many different types of people from many different walks of life. And I feel very proud of that. We've actually covered a lot of ground. And, you know, we're up to almost 2,000 subscribers right now. And I feel very, very happy about that. I feel that we're really, really growing. And I love that. I love being at one with as many people as I possibly can. And sharing information with all of you. The talks that I have in the discussion boards and in the emails, I find truly exhilarating. I really do. But yeah, almost 2,000 subscribers and 63, 64 shows. And going strong. Coming out with new content all of the time. And you guys are really wonderful people. I love you to death. Don't forget that. You know, and I'm not a mushy person, by the way. Remember that. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't be mean if I tried, really. But, no, talking to you about solitary practice as opposed to covenant or group practice. Alright? A very important topic, and I feel that it warrants a video of its own. So, that's why we are here. Solitary practice can be very comfortable in the way that you can do what you want, whenever you want, without anybody else trying to argue with you, or, you know, you don't have to worry about people handling your tools or breaking your tools. You don't have to worry about what kind of energy is going into tools that you're handling by other people. You know, when you're practicing in a group or a covenant, there's generally a covenant set of tools that you all use together. And, you know, you can kind of soak up or absorb some strong bad energy if somebody comes to group or covenant in a bad mood or whatnot, or has the wrong intentions in their mind. So, solitary practice is good in the way that you're comforted in your tools being pure and held only to you. Nobody handling them or breaking them or putting bad energy into them. You can say what you want, do what you want. You can practice skyclad. You can dance around the room without feeling embarrassed if you are a shy person. You feel more comfortable when talking out loud or saying your writ out loud to the higher power. When you're speaking your vows or giving your praises or whatnot to the Lord and Lady, you're comfortable when you're saying it out loud and nobody else is around if you're a shy person. There is the fact that when you're practicing solitarily, you can be lonely. It could be a very lonely path. You can feel alone, and you can be reaching out to find other people within your community to talk to who practice solitarily also, you know, but that don't want to be, you know, in a circle with other people like yourself. And you can share information with them. That's one way to be solitarily unlonely, is to find other people that you can communicate with. In my day, it was pretty hard because you didn't have internet. You didn't have a lot of people coming out either because we were all very closeted for the sake of not being persecuted by others, and it was still going on very heavily within the 70s, 80s, and up to the mid-90s. You know, the internet was new to me in 96, 97, I believe it was. No, I'm sorry, 98. I didn't know anything about the internet, never had a computer in my life, although I'm pretty sure it was out there before that. Even still, there were a lot of closeted people, that did not know anything about the internet. There were very few people to get in touch with. And so you just practiced alone all the time anyway. Finding groups and covenants was very thin. I got lucky. I mean, I've heard a lot of pretty lonely stories from people that wanted to be within groups and covenants and were not ever able to find them, And this being like a good long term after their pathway. Today we have the internet. We can scour that for people within our own terrain, our own division, that we could get together with, whether we want to just group study with them or meet at Mickey D's and have a sandwich and a talk, or get together and do an all-out ritual, which is something I don't advise for people that are very new to you anyway, but I mean, once you get to know them a little bit, Either way, the solitary practice could be a very lonely one. And so I do suggest that if you've never been in a group or a covenant, take your time, look long and hard, make sure there's somebody that you actually feel very comfortable with and get to know very well, out in public before you go meeting up in private with anybody, to do any kind of a covenant ritual with or more than one person practice with before you do so to prevent any problems, Find out what their likes are, what they believe in, what kind of tools they use. If their energy, feel for them to see if their energy is always positive or if there's dark streaks in it, or maybe you like the dark and negative practice, if you're on the darker side of things. But feel for people to find out that it's really what you want, or if they would be comfortable being around you before you start embarking on that little venture with them. But I do advise that if you haven't ever been within a group before, you should try it a few times. But there are a lot of positivities to studying within group practice. You make a lot of friends when you find a good group. You can make some friends and find people that you can learn from, whether it's a group of all good people or a group with mostly good people. So in those cases, it can be very good in practicing in a group studying. Also, a lot of times you find groups where some might have negative energy, but the energy that is good is so thick that you can draw on the good energy while using those tools, and the bad energy is almost non-existent because the good energy is overpowering it so much. Within group study, whenever you need a good spell or something to help you out, people will either shuttle you over a good spell work that you could take from and use for your own, or they'll help you by rolling up their sleeves, stepping in there with you, and helping you to do that spell for yourself. So there are some great positivities to do with group and covenant practice there. And I've enjoyed my time with that a lot. It's not always about the creepy guy sitting across the circle or obsessive-minded girl, clammy girl that's trying to get with you and willing to cause you a great amount of grief within your marriage to your wife to get there, although that does exist. But you find a lot of it in all religions. You find negatives and positives within all religions. Within Christianity, you have people trying to press all of their personal beliefs on you. Within paganism, you have all the bed hopping that is attempting to go on around you. And within Buddhism, you have heavy rules and standards when you're practicing with many, many different people. When, and in the list it goes onward, and I'm sure that all of you can see exactly what I'm saying with everything that I've said here. And trust me, those standards can intermix with other religions too. You have a lot of pagans that have heavy rules and standards, not just the Buddhists, and definitely Christians. And in paganism, you have a lot of people that will try to press their beliefs or standards on you. And definitely, you have people within the Christian church that are messing around on their husbands and wives. And it doesn't matter what the majority of the people are preaching is right or wrong. It doesn't matter at all. You're going to always find people that will be willing to go against that, sin against their own religion, and be a hypocrite about it afterwards. And I really feel that all of that is wrong. But, what can you do? What are you going to do? Either way, I don't feel that all religions are wrong. I don't feel that all religions are right. And you're definitely going to find good and bad in all religions. But the main thing is, the main thing that we're talking about here is comfortability. But there are a lot of people that choose to practice solitarily these days just on the basis that they don't trust very easily. They've had a lot of bad things, happen to them, within their group or covenant walks. Like maybe they've walked into a covenant or a group that was new to them, being invited, and found an animal being sacrificed on the altar. And there are those groups out there that do that. I don't judge anyone, but it's not something I would do. I feel that being at one with nature is what we're about. So, why go against it? It's just the way I feel about it. You would never find me sacrificing anything on my altar. Okay? Herbs, perhaps. Giving back to the earth. But I don't judge anyone. I'm not here to do that. That's not my job. The fact of the matter is within group or covenant practice, you can walk in on bad situations or situations you're not feeling content with. You can find people trying to lay hands on you left and right, and you don't know any of these damn people, trying to heal you or cast out your demons or whatever, and try to judge you without wordingly judging you, speakingly judging you. But even when it's a pathway that you yourself are already embarking on. If you're Christian and you walk into the new church and everybody wants to smother you out with their hands, laying the power of God on you, or when you're in a pagan group for the first time and all of them want to get around you and initiate you into their group, yet it's your first visit, and it's really stupid on their part because they don't know who you are. And it's really scary for you, So, in all reality, there's a lot of sense that's necessary when you are doing anything for the first time that's involving other people. And a lot of sense on their part is necessary when they have a new person coming into their midst. Because you can scare the hell out of some poor soul that really isn't familiar with your ways. So goes another edition of Wicca for today, and I truly hope that you guys have enjoyed it. I know that I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I feel that it's been very productive. I really hope that you guys will watch out on your pathway. There are a lot of crazy people out there that will take advantage of you if you let them. I do think that you should try to fulfill all forms of practice, whether it's solitary practice, practice with others that are on a light basis, getting together with friends once in a while, casting up a circle or whatever, and then practicing within a group practice covenant practice. I feel that all of these are important for your development within society, your social development, as well as your religious development. You know, even the experience of finding a group or covenant that can be bad is kind of important so that you can know that it's there, that it does exist. I don't want you walking in on a little something that you don't want to. You know, I really don't want to see you do that. But it is out there. Take care of yourself on your pathway. And remember, my heart is with you wherever you go for a very light and very powerful spiritual journey. Bye-bye and merry part.